It was a good week for Resident Evil fans. At long last, Capcom finally showed off gameplay footage of Claire Redfield's campaign for the upcoming Resident Evil 2 remake at Gamescom 2018. The demo showcases Claire's first encounter with the Birkin family, both young Sherry Birkin and her mad scientist-turned-monster of a father. Fighting off Birkin was never a walk in the park, but this time around it looks like things are even more dangerous. Not only do we get a good look at Birkin in the trailer, but good old Chief Irons also shows up, giving Claire an entirely different kind of monster to deal with. Unfortunately, the cutscene ends on a cliffhanger, so it's likely we'll have to wait until January to see how things play out. Of course, Resident Evil 2 wasn't the only game showcased at Gamescom. Along with Resident Evil, Capcom also announced the release date for Devil May Cry 5. Scheduled for release on March 8th, Devil May Cry 5 got a new trailer showcasing Nero's rocket-powered arm, which is a weapon that can be used as transportation. Not to be outdone, Dante is rolling in with transportation that can be used as weapons, specifically a pair of motorcycle swords. This is a weird franchise. Also setting a release date at Gamescom was Shenmue 3, another long-awaited sequel. The new Shenmue still has a ways to go, set for release on October 27th of next year. For a game much closer to release, Soul Calibur 6 will be coming out on October 19th with not one, but two story modes. In addition to the regular story mode, a second story centered around a custom-made character will also be in the game at no additional cost, which is more than can be said about Tira. Yes, Bandai Namco did themselves few favors by announcing that Tira will be coming out as an additional character via paid DLC, a bizarre announcement considering the game's full default roster is yet to be announced. Soul Calibur 6 isn't the only Bandai Namco fighter to make some announcements either. A new trailer for Jump Force reveals even more characters from One Piece, Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, and now Hunter x Hunter. Along with adding more fan-favorite characters, the game will also feature you. Yes, it seems that Jump Force will have a create a character option, so you can create your own avatar and play out that Piccolo-Zoro team-up fanfiction you've always dreamed of. Or is that just me? And that's not all for anime games. Bandai Namco also put out the first full trailer for One Piece World Seeker, the open-world One Piece game that looks like it'll have Monkey D. Luffy facing off against every big bad in the franchise atop a floating prison. In other Gamescom news, THQ Nordic released a new trailer for Darksiders 3 featuring the whip-slinging Fury, and the Spectacle Fighter isn't the only franchise getting a third entry. THQ also announced the revival of the Desperados franchise with Desperados 3. After more than 10 years since the last game, the Western RTS game is making a comeback. On the Nintendo side of things, we got some gameplay from Daemon X Machina. The stylized mech game looks like it plays like, well, a stylized mech game. The gameplay demo shows the player taking down giant robots and taking their parts to reverse engineer into new weapons and upgrades. And speaking of mechs, coming soon to Overwatch is Busan, a new control map that is home to D.Va and the rest of the mobile exo-force of the Korean Army. Along with announcing the new map, Blizzard also released their latest animated short, giving us a look behind the persona of everybody's favorite pop idol / mech pilot. And finally, though not technically news from Gamescom, some gaming news nonetheless from Koji Igarashi concerning Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. Unfortunately, it's bad news, as not only has the game been delayed until 2019, but the PS Vita version has been cancelled due to Sony's discontinuing support for the system. Those that were looking forward to getting the Vita version of the game will have to find another platform to play it on when the game eventually gets released. And even more bad news for gamers, particularly ones with Amazon Prime subscriptions. This week, Amazon announced that Amazon Prime and Twitch Prime will be rolling back some of their more popular features. Specifically, as of September 14th, Twitch Prime will no longer provide ad-free viewing. You'll still get your free monthly sub for your favorite Twitch channel and a regular supply of free games you'll probably never play, but for an ad-free experience, you'll have to pony up another $9 a month for Twitch Turbo. Twitch Turbo previously didn't offer anything you weren't already getting with Twitch Prime until now. If you want to keep your Twitch experience ad-free, you'll have to double dip. Oh, and it gets better! Prime members will also be losing out on that lucrative 20% off pre-order discount on new games. Once upon a time, Amazon offered the discount on any game released, including expensive collector's editions, which meant substantial savings on those high-priced items. Last year, though, they restricted the discount to just standard releases, which was still $12 off a typical $60 game, but it seems that even that discount was too good to last. Starting August 28th, Prime members will instead get a $10 Amazon credit when pre-ordering select games, a credit that expires after 60 days and only applies to goods sold directly by Amazon. It's not that great compared to just having an extra $12 in your bank account, but I suppose it's better than not having it at all. The pre-order discount ends on Tuesdays, so get your pre-orders in while you can. Heading into new releases, this week we have Sci-Fi Family Dysfunction with Kin. What do you do when your brother gets out of prison and gets in trouble with the local crime scene? I guess that depends on whether or not you've come across a high-tech rifle that's either from space, the future, or both. Also hitting select theaters this week is Bloodfest. From Rooster Teeth, a group of horror movie fans find themselves trapped in a horror festival that's gotten a bit too real. And yes, it still seems weird that the guys that made Red vs. Blue are making actual movies now. Over on television, there might still be some value to Amazon Prime. Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan starts its first season this week on Amazon's streaming service. And in video games, Metal Brigade Tactics may look like a 20-year-old PC port, but it's actually a brand new mech tactics game coming out this week that still looks like a 20-year-old PC port. For our RPG Maker game of the week, I'm not sure that Lucid Path is actually an RPG Maker game, but it's close enough. With a lot of systems and a nice pixel art design, it's at the high end of the genre. On the higher budget side of things, Strange Brigade is a multiplayer adventure game that has you raiding tombs for fun and profit with some pulp-style treasure hunting. And speaking of strange, Blade Strangers is a new fighting game with the weirdest roster this side of BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle, with guest characters that range from Shovel Knight to Gunvolt to Isaac. For some medical gameplay of questionable scientific accuracy, 2 Point Hospital is a hospital sim that has you managing patients and staff while keeping the city safe from a variety of unnaturally literal illnesses. And if you're looking for some classic ninja action, Devolver Digital's The Messenger comes out this week looking like the Shinobi game that the Super Nintendo never got. Speaking of Nintendo, heading for the Switch this week is Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate. It may not be the latest entry in the Monster Hunter franchise, but it does let you transfer your 3DS save over to the newer system. For another game making its Switch debut, Freedom Planet is running over to Nintendo. Before Sonic Mania came around, this indie title was known as the best Sonic game in years and is worth a look on any platform. That leaves us with this week's awesome video. Austin from The Game Theorists has a few things to say about the physical ramifications of Cigaris slamming a giant sword down into Azeroth.
What? I mean, stabbing a planet with a giant sword? Did you think that I wouldn't notice this? I mean,
That's everything for this week, so how do you feel about the value proposition of Amazon Prime now? Is it still worth it for you? Let me know in the comments. As always, I appreciate likes and appreciate subscribers even more, so be sure to pass this video around to your friends and have a great week.